ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। In the last class, we were talking about Kashayam. Now let me give the gist summary of third chapter. Third chapter highlighted, consisting of 14 verses, that आत्मज्ञान प्राप्तस्य धीरस्य न किंचन बंधनम इति. So that means the one who is a dhira, wise person, and how did he become wise? She become wise because of Atmajnana Prapti. So having gained the Atmajnana self-knowledge, the knowledge of one's own self makes a person wise. That person's what happens? Na kinchana bandhanam iti. There is no bondage at all. And interestingly, why that we'll see, but because there is no bondage, that's why what happens? Na vishayah badhate iti. The sense objects, or you can say objective world, will never bind that person. So the reference story is the person holding on to the tree saying that tree is not leaving me. That's why because of that reason what happens? Na deha sprushati na mrutyum bhayam janayati iti. And because of which there is no fear of death either. So while discussing this thing, of course, you know the systematic approach here. In these 14 verses, mainly 3 points were being highlighted. I hope you recollect everything. So the point 1 was that even though sarvabhuteshu atmadarsanam krutvapi mamata anuvrittihi iti. Even though person starts seeing one's own self in everywhere, still that mamata, minus, sense of belonging still continues. So that was the most important aspect was being concluded here. Not only that, went one step ahead. That even if the person parama advaita stito api kama vasata. So kama vasata also is there. The person looks for something, there is a desire. Even though person is abiding in one's own self. That's why it was being highlighted, working on with one's own kashayam. And especially in the last class, we were discussing in details why and how. And very good also, third point says, jnanotpado api kamakanksha. Even though waking up the knowledge, even though there is knowledge, still there is desire. While looking at all these things, we came across one beautiful point in this chapter that was called what? From Vairagya comes Viveka. So, Vairagyasya Viveka Mahima we discussed. Everywhere we were discussing from Viveka to vairagya from discriminative faculty helps to detach ourselves. But here, detachment will direct our faculty of thinking in a better way. Because all our discriminative faculty being used for our raga and dvesha. So that was the most important point we discussed here, that when a person starts developing vairagya, then the person will be able to navigate oneself in a better way. Or else what will happen? Even if moksha, the freedom, becomes a fear for a common person. Oh, I have to leave my family. Just look at dying people. There is a beautiful description goes, I forgot that beautiful verse is there. You know, a snake, or you can say frog, is caught by a snake. One of the hind leg is cut. So snake is trying to, shallow. During that time, one fly. What the frog will do? Will not put effort to escape from the snake. Will put effort how to catch that fly and eat. This amazing description. Many places this is being taught. It's very sad to observe this point. Hey, you in few seconds you are finished. But no. It's an amazing thing to observe. So how that happens? So also any human being, common human being especially, observe them at the time of death. In fact, all their insecurity becomes more stronger during death time. Very painful situation. That's why nobody dies happily. Have you ever seen any person dying smilingly? Relief from this body, from this world, at least for some time. What will happen to my child? What will happen to my grandchild, okay? My grandchild is not dead. Not dead. My grandchild is not married yet. How can I leave the body? My grandchild will be helpless. I must see the marriage of grandchild. You understand? Just examples, like I'm saying it, okay? They should see that emotion, how it comes. So what he highlights here, that forget about that. Even if moksha, that's why I remember many people in India, this is a habit. They will say, look, you should not be a spiritual person. Not this spiritual, okay? You should not be a spiritual person when you are young. In fact, when as a young boy, we used to go to the temples and become more spiritual. In fact, some of you must be going through the same issues. Hey, this is not the age for you to become spiritual, attend the Vedanta class. Only when you are retired, okay? Nothing to do. It is exactly like, the wood. Already which, the fungus started coming. Once there are fungus in the wood, will that wood be used for anything? It is not even useful for making fire. Over. So that's why here is being used, I just stretch a little bit, that For a person, vairagya is most important. That's why I say, Tyagat eva shanti. That's why I stopped all my talks yesterday recording. I spoke my personal example. And why? He says, look, because one is supposed to work with the lakshana of a dhira. Like in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which was being taught. So, yani yani sthita prajnasya lakshanani santi tani tani sadhakasya sadhanani bhavanti. So, what are the characteristics of a wise one? That becomes a sadhana for the sadhaka. In this regard, he brought out, let us say, 4 points. They are called lakshana, dhirasya lakshanam iti, dhira lakshanam. Number 1 is that bhojyamanah api, pidyamanah api tu, stuto api, na kampate, nindayam na kshubhyati. Means, even if the person is engaging in the enjoyment. So, being engaged in enjoyment, now the person is not engaged. Pidyamane api, pidyamanah api, even though suffering, going through difficulties, still is not suffering. That objectivity. Or else this kashayam takes over. The moment kashayam takes over, you are out, whoever you may be. And we have many examples, including Jada Bharata. So we have a series of life examples, not 1 or 2. Then comes stuto na kampate nindayam na kshubhyati. So if people start praising, you don't rejoice, nor when they do ninda, blame, you don't get angry. So in the flight, if some people says that chor chor, thief thief, you don't complain. So this is yesterday's news in India, okay? So India has got now real new masalas, okay? Why all these things happens? Because saha atmanam kevalam pashyati. So that person only sees Atma. So that's why what happens? How does, when he sees Atma, now because of Atma, the person starts seeing one's own body as though it is belongs to other. Anya sariravat. How? You can see for yourself. After doing your upasana, especially puja, remember why I am using this upasana? Because after puja, you are supposed to do some meditation, at least japa. Not just puja got over, you get up, namaste and get out. That's not puja. Yes, that can be beginning. So after puja, you are supposed to sit there, do meditation or do japa at least, start with. This is the minimum thing, no hurry worry, okay? So better you can plan before. No, time, I have to rush. Please. It is exactly like, especially in Western countries, not Indian countries. Western countries is better. In Western countries, if you go fast, because Indian country you can go little early, reach. Because here people follow the route. Even if you drive very fast, how many minutes you will save? Suppose you are traveling 1 hour travel. How many minutes? Be honest. How many minutes? 5 to 7 minutes. With great difficulty, 5 to 7 minutes you may save. Again, you may. But what stress you have? Restlessness. Even if service lane you take. Because I observe, I also say, hey, go, let us go by service lane. That's what I am telling, okay? But at the end you only save 5 minutes. Whereas when you follow, whole day you have big meetings, big things. Then 5 minutes, no problem, you start 5 minutes before. Same thing also, puja with japa or meditation and puja without japa and meditation. This is the difference I would like to say. India case is different because you know better, okay? Let me not give Indian example, okay? Disaster. So that's why here, when you start spending how? Just when you close your eyes for a length of time and you settle down your mind, slow down your mind or settle down your mind, what will happen? The sound that is created in your house itself will be felt as though it is far away. Have you ever observed? This is the basic step of meditation. Because when you are elevated, sometimes it will happen. You are elevated, you will discover as though you are in 10th floor or 20th floor and sound is in the ground floor. And people will be shouting next to you or just next door. So the sound that is created in your own house will be heard, will be felt as though it is far away or in other's place. How this happens? Same thing, while opening my eyes, while experiencing anything and everything, I start looking at that my body is as though somebody's body. And the moment I start developing objectivity with reference to body, then what happens? Related to the body, I don't care anything. Because the name and fame. For whom? Is it for me? So, name and fame is related to whom? Related to this body. Whatever I do have, or I am going to have in this earth, that which is tangible I call, all are related to the body. And when I am not relating with my body, I say it is somebody's body. Then what happens? In fact, I use everything but never get entangled with it. So that was being highlighted. So he says, look, what we need to do? First of all, have two things. One is Atma-trupti, be satisfied with yourself, because no spruha, nispruham. So that when there is a nairashyam, your expectation does not meet, nothing happens, everything goes other way around, you are not being shaken up. Because once this Atma-trupti is there, you hold on to. That's why children are being given lollipop. Once lollipop is in the mouth, child will look for everything, and if nothing happens, no problem, I am happy with my lollipop. So here lollipop is Atma-trupti, okay? Don't take it in the wrong way. And second thing is Maya Drushti. In child case, this lollipop, that is also lollipop, or better than lollipop. That's why having lollipop in the mouth, still that fellow looks for everything. Then tries to, part the mind, okay, I have. Like when you cannot get the grape, after all it is sour. How do you know? That is out of frustration. So here it is not like that. Having lollipop means having Atma-trupti, have Maya Drushti. So, start seeing Vishwam, the entire universe, as a Maya. When you say Maya means what? It appears as though it exists. In reality, it does not exist. And once I see that it as though exists, in reality it doesn't exist. Even if death comes, mrityu, sannidhahu api. So when the death comes nearer to it, so dhiraha na treshyati. A wise person never shaken up. Because as though existed and as though it will vanish. And when this thing happens, what happens is, here the person have to have nishtha by default, commitment, atmanishtha, commitment towards one's own self, the knowledge. By default, that should be natural. Then only what will happen? That I will start shining. For example, look at, especially you guys, those who are doing job. What is your nishtha? Be honest. Where is your nishtha? Is your nishtha with the company? Hopefully not. Unless first job it is. Like first love, okay? First job. Now where is your nishtha? The whole nishtha is in package. Is it clear or not? I hope I am talking some sense. So when the nishtha is in a package in the money, then what happens? Do you start seeing all your colleagues, every situation, based on that nishtha or not? All your transaction, all your vision is related to your nishtha or not? Be honest. So that means wherever I am committed, those objects are related to that. Everything appears and I look at anything and everything related to that. If that is the truth, here is what nishtha is swahava nishtha, in my nature. In truth, in reality, my Atma Swarupam. So when nishtha is in me, in Atma, now anything and everything will appear in keeping with Atma. That's why drishyam na kinchana iti. Nothing will be visible. I start seeing anything and everything. But when my nishtha changes subconsciously, that is called shifting the vision. The moment my nishtha changes, my approach changes. And this is what I observe a child. If you observe a child, will be very happy with mother because there is nobody. Poor fellow. The moment father comes, leaves mother, goes to father. So the nishtha changes. Suddenly grandparent comes. Then what happens? Now changes. It doesn't bother about father or mother. It goes to grandparents. So see how the child behavior changes. Not because of anything, because of the nishtha changing. Can you see this point? It's an amazing thing to observe. So also I change not because of the situation, but because of my nishtha. That's why he says that is also to be done. Then once I start looking at this aspect that changes takes place because of my nishtha, not because of situation or people, then I start working with my kashayam. So towards end comes what? Working with kashayam. How to minimize, how to free myself from my kashayam. Not to be, in psychological language, not to be under the claws of my subconscious mind, under the spell of subconscious mind. Let my subconscious mind not detect terms and conditions. So that is called making myself free from kashayam. Then what happens? If that happens, then yadruchaya agataha bhogaha na dukkhaya na tushtaya. Whatever comes on the way. Now, what happens to me? Neither I am interested to indulge, nor I suffer. Because I have to go through the experience. Sarvam samatvena anubhuyate. So without any jerk or creating a jerk better in me, and of course externally, because if there is jerk in me, there will be jerk externally. Especially when you drive the vehicle, many people, boom, 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 you know, how you create a jerk. Because mind is full of jerk. And don't say, there are potholes, that's why I'm doing it. No. So that's why he says, look, that person eva muktaha, sa eva muktaha, that person is free, who is what? Yaha atmanistitaha. The one who is abiding within one's own self. But what happens to a common person? Common person abides anything, in anywhere and everywhere, except in one's own self. Thinking that that is one's own self. And when I think that which is not self but thinking that it's self, now tell me, will I be cheated in my life or not? That's why I am being cheated by anybody and everybody. Not because they cheat me, because I did not know the truth, or I don't want to know the truth. And finally, who will cheat me? This body also will cheat me. Will not cooperate with me. Thank God, before it cheats me, because of this fellow is very loyal to me, okay? So gives the signal, starting with kada kada dhada mada mada mada. You understand? All joint pain, this pain, that pain, hair becoming this, that. So it gives its own signal. But if I am not able to understand the signal, what can you do? Thus, the third chapter is completed. We'll see fourth chapter tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.